This podcast episode is sponsored by Palumbo and Bertrand, attorneys at law.
Good day, seniors and active adults. Welcome back to our YouTube podcast, Get Your Weekly Slice, where we protect, inform, and educate you, our seniors and active adults, every week about what you should know as you age. It is about keeping you, our seniors, in the know. This next podcast series is going to be about financial abuse of the elderly and exploitation. And I'm going to put it in 4 parts, part 1, 2, 3, and then real conversation, part 4. So what is financial abuse of the elderly? Elder abuse refers to a broad range of behaviors, including taking money or property, forging an older person's signature, coercing or unduly influencing an older person to sign a financial document, and defrauding or scamming money from an older person. Now, I want you to understand, I'm not an attorney, and I provide this in any of my podcasts about information. And the whole premise of the podcast, the Smarter Senior Seminar Series events that I do, it's all about protecting, informing, and educating our seniors and active adults. So in no means am I an attorney telling you what's going on. This podcast series, as all of my podcast series, are about information and education for seniors and active adults and their families. But most importantly, the bottom line is to protect you, our seniors. So some of the factors contributing to financial abuse, there's a high percentage of seniors who live alone, and they may be more vulnerable to scams, but in most cases, they are that vulnerable demographic that scammers target. The seniors may believe the pitches they hear, and they may have trouble spotting fraud. And the population of seniors is increasing. So as an example, every day there are 10,000 people in the US that are turning 65. Now, if you do the math, 10,000 times 30 days in a month is 300,000 seniors or people, adults, that are turning 65 every day. And if you take that 300,000 times 12, you're talking close to 3.6 million people or adults turning 65 every day. Now, we are, as seniors and active adults, we are living longer. But I want you to comprehend that number because it is growing as I speak today. Now, seniors, most notably, the scammers know, and most people understand that seniors have a high net worth. And keep in mind, a couple years ago, the baby boomer generation, when it came to selling and buying, they were almost 50% of total sales. So there's a lot of moving when it comes to seniors and active adults. Either they're moving out of their house, going to or purchasing something that's smaller, more manageable, less maintenance, or they're moving into an independent with no maintenance, nothing to worry about when it takes care of a home. So there's different options living, and I share those in previous podcasts. That one in particular, senior living options, what's available. So people are moving. So just in California, I want to kind of give you an example. In California, they have the largest number of elderly. But Florida has the country's greatest percentage of individuals over 65. And 2 years ago, that was 19%. And I would say now in 2023, we are at 20, pushing 21%. So if you really think about it, the elderly population will double to approximately 75 million by 2030, or 1/5 of the total US population. Understand that 1/5 of Florida's population is at that in that age group of it being elderly. But in 2030, the overall US population is going to be 1/5 of the population. So we're 7 years away. So I would anticipate by 2030, Florida will most likely be 20, 22, maybe pushing 23%. But again, there's a lot of people moving, shifting from major cities from the north, northeast, west into the Sunshine State simply because of the taxes, because Florida has no taxes. All the Northeast, Midwest, West states have taxes, and or not necessarily California, but in the North, Northeast, and Midwest, they're tired of the winters. So they're getting out of the cities, and a lot of it, not only is it the taxes or the weather, but now crime is playing into that equation. So that's just a few things that are driving scammers to target seniors and active adults, hence senior financial abuse.
Do you need help drafting wills, trusts, or administering the estate prior to the death of a loved one? At Palumbo and Bertrand, attorneys at law, we have the experience necessary to guide you through the process. We offer large firm services with a small firm feel, providing you with expert advice and creative solutions to the issues you face. Call Palumbo and Bertrand at 407-960-2835 and schedule your appointment today.
So in 2011, net worth of households headed by a consumer 65 or older was $17.2 trillion. The amount is set to increase to over 60 trillion in the next few decades, if we're not there already. Because keep in mind, 2011, that was 12 years ago. It was at 17.2 trillion. And according to TrueLink Financial, estimated losses from elder abuse range from 2.9 billion to 36.9 billion per year. Keep in mind, seniors don't report or abuse goes undetected. Sometimes seniors, even though they were vulnerable to a scammer or a sweet talker, they feel ashamed and embarrassed that they were taken by a scammer. Because keep in mind, in the back of their mind, and how they think is that you hear it on the news, on the radio, but you would never think it would happen close to home or happen to you. That's how we all feel. and we just get caught off guard at times, and it happens. But when it happens, I ask seniors, active adults, their family members to not allow yourself or your family member to be embarrassed as to what happened. Share it so in hopes that it doesn't happen to someone else. Now, the average loss incurred by elder financial abuse is $90,000. It's a lot of money. And if you put things in perspective, if someone was to live in an independent assisted memory care community, that 90,000 would cover almost 3 years of room, board, and rent in an independent community, or it might in a critical care or memory care community, 2 years. So keep that in mind. $90,000 is a lot of money. And I go back to when people are living in their homes, especially the baby boomers, anybody that's 65 and above, and they're looking to downsize or move into an independent assisted memory care community because they notice that their health is declining. But I want you to keep in mind what I do and Alba does at Certified Senior Housing Professionals, what we do when we help a senior through that process called downsizing or transitioning to a more manageable footprint. We have the house, if we are allowed to list it, help them through the process. We offer a free pre-appraisal because we want you to get the most money out of your home, because we understand as advocates for seniors and active adults that it is not cheap to make that transition. It is not cheap to live in independent assisted or memory care communities. So understand that. So I hope you will take heed. This was part 1, and I hope you will follow part 2, part 3, and some real conversations that I have seen over the last 7-8 years where people have been taken advantage of, but understand I feel good about what I do as a real estate agent, as a senior advocate, because I'm there to protect, inform, and educate seniors, active adults, and their families so they are not taken advantage. In closing, I hope you enjoyed today's Get Your Weekly Slice. If you'd like to discuss further today's topic, you can reach me via email at mike@your, Y-O-U-R, Florida, spelled out, Haven, Haven.com, or call me at 407-340-5291 to set up an appointment. I provide a free 1.5-hour in-person meeting to discuss your future plans on aging while providing you a minimum of 3 options to choose from. Don't forget to follow us and like us on Facebook and Instagram. While on my website at yourfloridahaven.com, sign up for my monthly newsletter, RSV to any of my in-person events, which are held at the Orange County Library, Smarter Senior Seminar Series events, and to view any and all of my videos and podcasts. We hope these podcasts are helpful, and if they are, please share with your friends, family, and neighbors by letting them know what we offer as certified senior housing professionals, designated real estate agents, to our seniors and active adults as they age. We're a connector. It is about keeping seniors in the know. Till next time, when you come back to get your weekly slice.
This podcast episode is sponsored by Palumbo and Bertrand, attorneys at law.